Well, time to check on our honeybees. Frankenstein's monster's ghost!
What are you doing in our Spanish beehive?
Well, as long as you're a critique of the fascist Franco regime, I guess we can let you out.
Hello and welcome to Random Movie Time. This is week 3 of our special 6-week 50 subscribers celebration where we are discussing movies requested or suggested by some of our friends. Today we'll discuss a suggestion made by our friend Claire. This is the Spanish film The Spirit of the Beehive, released in 1973, directed by Victor Enrique, and this takes place in 1940s Spain in a small Castilian town just after the Spanish Civil War had ended. And it follows the story of Anna, a young 6-year-old girl who sees the 1931 film Frankenstein with her sister, and it influences, after that we see how it influences her home life, her family life, and her school life as well. So what do you think of this film, Tommy?
Oh, I really liked it. I thought this was a pretty beautiful movie. It had a lot of symbolism, some of which I didn't catch the first time around, but we watched some videos on the Criterion channel about the making of the movie and researched a bit what the movie meant. Apparently this was a way to sort of get past the censors in Spain to, use allegory and symbolism instead of just outright critiquing the Francoist government at the time. But even if you take away the political stuff, it's just a beautiful movie by itself, and it tells a pretty charming story. There was a couple of parts that I thought were a bit unsettling, but I think they were meant to be unsettling, like, the older sister strangling the cat and putting blood on her lips and things like that. But generally speaking, it's kind of a lyrical movie. Nice pace to it, very well acted, beautiful scenery. I mean, the Spanish countryside just looks gorgeous in this movie. And it has some really powerful imagery that I think will stay with you if you watch this movie. I really liked it. What did you think, Shannon?
Oh yes, I liked it too. I thought it was a really clever way to get around the censors. So at the time that this was filmed, the fascist regime was still in power, and so the director had to, mask everything because it was a veiled criticism of Franco and his regime. So it was a really, really interesting how he got around that. It was really, like you say, lyrical. It was like a poem in a film, kind of. And it was amazing that it was filmed in 1973. It certainly didn't feel like it was a film in the 70s. It really could have, it felt timeless in a way. Even though it was set in 1940, it could have been maybe not today because it was still a little old looking, but it could have been, 10 years ago for all we know, right? It was really well done. Beautiful shots, really interesting ideas. The acting was great. I mean, the main character, Anna, she was a 6-year-old girl, and what a gem. She was so sweet and believable. An amazing performance, and by all of them. The older sister too, I think she was supposed to be 8, I think. And she does a really, really good job. Apparently the older sister, who had some questionable behavior throughout the film, like you were saying, strangling a cat and putting blood on her lips, and she, I'm not going to get into the whole thing because I don't want to spoil it, but apparently she kind of represented the fascist regime, and the younger sister, Anna, represented the nationalists, the leftists of Spain. You can also see why the writer of the film used Frankenstein as imagery here, making a piecemeal monster, trying to kind of put everything back together again and making sense of it. And so in a way it was heart-wrenching in a way, and especially seeing it through a young girl's eyes, trying to make sense of everything. Yes, I think that this was a great film, and I'm really glad that Claire recommended it, and I would totally recommend it. So, have anything else to add, or?
Just that it was kind of weird that it was like our third movie recently that had to do with Frankenstein. It's kind of a coincidence, especially since the last video we did was about Frankenstein also, but we didn't plan this. It really was just a complete coincidence.
Yeah, and to be fair, Frankenstein, he influences Anna a great deal, and she starts imagining things and seeing things through that vein, and but Frankenstein's monster doesn't really have a huge presence, a huge obvious presence in the film. He's just an influence. So, I mean, it wasn't really a Frankenstein movie per se, but I see what you're saying. So, how many honeybees out of 5 do you give this one?
I'll give it 4.5. Really good movie. I really liked it a lot. What about you, Shannon? How many honeybees out of 5?
Yeah, I will give it 4. I was really, really impressed. And this is one of those films that you don't take it as it is. I mean, you can, but if you do, then you'll miss it. You'll miss a lot of it. It's a really well thought out film, both in the writing and then the filming and in the imagery. This is not one of those, sit back and eat your popcorn and watch some action flick. It's a really, there's a lot of layers there, and to me it kind of transcends just a simple film. The only reason I didn't give it 5 is because I felt that there were bits that were maybe a bit stilted. Maybe it could have ran a bit smoother in a couple of places, but I mean, that really didn't lessen the enjoyment of the film for me. So thanks, Claire, for suggesting that one.
Yeah, thanks.
Really appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you next time on Random Movie Time.